Hi, I'm Tom and I talk about code. Welcome to another Rust programming live stream. Today, more work on my compiler. We're going to be adding Sizeof. This is going to be fun. I'm in the wrong scene. Let's go to this one. That's okay. That doesn't matter. I'm going to do some refactors and then I might also try and write malloc. I don't know how long I'm going to stream for. I let it get too late before I started. I'm wearing a shirt today because I was out doing stuff in a school, which was fun. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing this stuff. If any of these things, any mysterious threads come up that I can pull, I'm gonna follow them, and we're gonna hopefully, in general, improve our code quality. That is my main goal for today. I want things to look better than they did before. So first things first, we're just gonna start a recording because I'm trying to I'm trying to record all of my coding for this project so I can kind of do a supercut, put that on YouTube. That'd be fun. Let's make a branch actually. Let's make a branch. Let's call it Sizeof. Now, I have a couple of options for how I implement Sizeof. One option is to go into the AST, to go into our statement type, our expression type even, and add a new expression. We could do this, and parsing it would be like parsing a function, but it would just be Sizeof, right? You wouldn't look for a proper function name. Temper Theta Delta welcome, yeah, Sizeof, it is going to be interesting. I have another thought though, right? Rather than adding a new expression type, I have this weird thought. And I want to see what it looks like when I do it, because it might be disgusting, but it might not be. So if I go to our function call expression, like maybe we have an identifier. Maybe if the identifier, what do we do? Yeah, we push all of our args, we do some stuff, we jump. So maybe if ID 0, I have to take a ref of it, equals Sizeof, maybe we do something special, right? I'm considering this as an option. It probably is more correct to make it its own expression type, but I don't know if I want an expression type for every built-in. Maybe it makes sense to just have a dedicated check for a bunch of built-ins when you do a function call. Maybe built-ins live within the concept of a function call in the AST. Maybe the AST doesn't care about built-ins. I think that kind of makes sense as well. You could argue for both cases. So I think I'm going to see how this looks. Now, in reality, we really, really want this to not just add to the horrible code bloat of this one file, but that's the step I'm going to do after I've implemented this. So we're going to make this look uglier for now, and then afterwards we're going to start cleaning up this gigantic 1,000-line file, because I think that's kind of important. I've got a few things I want to split out in the parser and in the compiler. So let's see what this looks like. So Sizeof takes one argument. So if args len is not equal to 1, then we have an error. Now, the exact error this is going to be, we're going to have to look at our enum, we're going to have to check and maybe add a new thing. Because as it stands, we don't actually check the number of arguments against the function that we're calling. We probably should do that just in general, right? So if I go into test.code, if I write a function foo that takes an a and a b, I could call that as foo. There's no checking. Nothing checks. So that's kind of a problem. It's kind of a problem. Maybe I should fix that as well. Maybe in general that's a good thing to fix. I'll put a to do. To do check args. Check number args correct. Cool, because I don't think we actually... Yeah, we never actually resolve this into a function definition. We just assume it exists and try and jump to it. And actually, like, the reason to do this is we don't know where this function is going to live. We don't know the address until the last stage of compilation, and that's okay. But what we do know at this stage of compilation is how many arguments every function has. We've already processed all of our function definitions at this point. So there's no reason why we can't resolve this into a function definition and run this check. So we'll put it to do that. We'll come back around to this when we're in a branch that's not called Sizeof, because I think a branch called Sizeof is kind of important, right? Putting it, you know, like working in an atomic way, making this its own commit, not blending in two things into one commit. So we need a new type of error, and we're going to use this for both this Sizeof args and this when we implement what's in this to do. We're going to call it wrong number of args, incorrect function arg count. It's hard, right? Because I want these errors to be very, very specific. I think it makes sense for our compiler errors to be extremely specific, but the names are just disgusting. So I'm struggling with that a little. We're going to have a name of a function. We're going to have expected number of args. We'll call this like u32, and got u32. Excellent. Cool. And so we'll treat this as if it's a function named Sizeof, even though it's a built-in, because I think that makes more sense as an error as well. We don't want a special case error just for a built-in, unless we really need it. If it's just the number of args are incorrect, fine, we can do with that. So we have expected 1 and got args.len. Cool. Excellent. So if args.len is 1, then we want to actually return something meaningful. And the thing that's meaningful we're gonna return, we basically want to push the size of a type to oh, hold on. Does this have to be a... Wait, this does have to be a special thing. I didn't even... Because... Sizeof does a few things. I didn't think of this. Sizeof does actually need to live in its own special parser, right? Because if we think about how this parser works, if we think about what Sizeof looks like, and this is actually something that I really should do when I write a new thing, let's imagine let a size equal size of int. This currently won't parse, right? Because int isn't a valid actually it will parse, but it'll parse for bad reasons. Do we want this to be a type? Maybe that is okay, because okay, so if we look at the parser for a function call, function definition, function expression call. Okay. So we look for delimited, we look for an expression. Yeah, we look for an expression. Now this is the problem, because int will parse as an expression, but probably not for the correct reasons. I have a bad feeling about trying to do it like this. Let's push forward. No, surely we can't just push forward and expect this to be basically a variable that's called int. And if it's got a specific name that we can resolve as a type, then do type stuff. That feels a bit too gross. That said, I don't think... So hold on, let me draw. I think we have to draw here. There's too many things going on. So what does Sizeof take? What does Sizeof operate on, right? Size... I need to draw a better letter Z. Size of, let's say, int, right? This is a type. Size of food. This is a struct. Fine, this makes sense. What about x equals, hold on, well, no, okay, so the place in C that you might see it is if you have some variable int x5 size of x, right? You might have something like this in C, and I'm really sorry for my writing. This is a hard word to write. You might have something like this in C. But we don't have statically sized arrays, so I don't think this makes sense. Okay. My approach, my strategy for everything here has been to do the dumbest possible thing. So we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to do that. We're going to say if let args get args first, the first arg of one of one, if this arg, if AST expression it's the variable which has a vec of identifiers, right? This is our dot separated list because it could be a struct reference, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Because we just want to, well, if it has length 1 and that thing is a type, then we resolve it as a type. Otherwise, we're going to say error. Okay, so we're doing this a questionable, oh no, I have to change my thing. That's okay, you didn't miss much, I'm going to learn one day. It's hard, but I'm going to learn one day. IDs, args first. So if IDs, so if we have one thing, we want to try and resolve that as a type. Now, we can't do that because we have a list of user types, right? We have a list of user types. Is that in context? It must be. Context. Context. User types. Okay. So either it's one of our known types or it's a user type. So if let's maybe even say context.isType, right? Where we pass a thing in that maybe the name of the type. Or get type. Do we have a get type? Or do we get type? No. So we have to say, gosh, this is a complicated little bit of logic. This is trickier than I thought. The trickiest thing is gonna be handling the different string names of the predefined types and pointers. Actually, we just want to parse a type. So that's that really leans, like, if I'm gonna have to parse the thing in here to work out what it is, that really leans on the idea that this should actually just parse as a separate thing. And that's actually what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna delete this. I hate doing this, but I'm gonna delete this. And I'm gonna make Sizeof its own expression. Because the further I got down that path, the worse it looked. And sometimes you need to find that out by going down the path. Let's call it we'll call it built-in Sizeof, and it's only going to operate on a type. We're not going to do Sizeof expression or Sizeof variable. Maybe we'll add another expression that parses as that, but I don't think that really makes a lot of sense for the state my language is in right now. Okay, so top level, that's not what I want. Expression, display, we want to display Sizeof, and this just looks like a function. It's not a function. We now have something that is distinctly not a function, and that is okay. I need to call this T. Okay, this is going to break in quite a few places, and that's okay. That's okay. So when we compile an expression, this is going to be easy. This is going to be really, really simple now, and that's exciting. So let's maybe put it maybe here. I don't know. Ordering is hard. Expression, we called it built-in Sizeof. It takes a type. So this type we can just get the size of, right? Because we've parsed it as a type. So we can say, where does this live? It lives in resolve size bytes. This is interesting because... Oh no, but yeah. I keep forgetting that, because we pass these types around and I'm like, man, how do we get the size without going through the context? But when we resolve all of these, from their AST representations, we get just raw data, which is great, which is really, really good. So the size can be known. We can just work it out. We can just say let size equals t.size bytes. And then we just need to make a vec. We'll say out is vec new. All we need to do is put two instructions in here. I think it's going to be an unresolved instruction. We're going to put an instruction. It's just going to be an immediate, right? It's just going to load C. We're going to load the size. New checked. Yeah, and we just load the size as a U16. We want to unwrap this because one day we'll have data that's big enough to make this fail, and that's going to be a really sad day, but until then, we're just going to blissfully unwrap and pretend it doesn't matter. And then all we do is push register C onto the stack. Awesome, and that should actually just be Sizeof. Isn't that a lot better than what I was doing before? What I was doing before was really really quite insane when you look at it compared to this, right? you know sometimes you have self-doubt. You're like, am I like just shifting this stuff around? Am I bike shedding? But then you see the solution and you're like, no, that is actually better. That is so much better. Okay. So that feels good. That feels really good. AST type. Yeah, it's not called size bytes. It's called byte size, I think. Maybe it's byte size. I gave it a silly name. Oh no, it's an AST type. Hold on, what am I doing? I don't automatically do that. It would be nice to automatically do that. I don't automatically do that. I have to convert it. I have to do that thing, which is, what's the method called? It's not an into anymore. It's get field variable type impl type from AST. That's it. From it's type from AST. I forgot I had to do this explicitly. We take a context, we take a type. And does this return? Yes, this does return potentially an error. Okay, it's tt.size bytes. Now this works. Now we're fine. And then I need to actually return something at the end. Beautiful. Built-in size of not covered. So what's the type of a size of? The type of a size of is just an int. It's just an int. It's probably like a size t or something technically, but it's just an int. Beautiful. So that compiles, and we can run it, but it won't do anything, right? We haven't used size of anywhere. So let's go back to test.code and let's just do a really simple, stupid example where we're gonna say, hopefully just return 2 out. Excellent. Then let's go into our language. For one thing, if I run this right now, it should fail. It should fail because it doesn't know a function called sizeof exists. What actually happens is it fails because I forgot. Oh no. Oh yeah, it fails because you're not allowed to have underscores in names. That's another thing I should fix tonight, actually. Yeah, and so here it just says, What does it say? Undefined variable int. So it doesn't even get to work out that Sizeof isn't defined, because it's like, hey, what the hell is this? It tries to parse it as an int, but then when it like compiles it, it doesn't know what's going on. So it doesn't even get to the stage of compilation where it works out that we don't have a Sizeof defined, which is interesting. So this is why we need our own parser. This is that what I was doing the first time actually would not have worked, because it tries to evaluate. Oh, actually no, it wouldn't have tried to evaluate them though. Okay, anyway, we don't want to touch the AST in the compiler. We don't want to hack the AST, right? We want to be very clean with that AST. So let's make a parser. Let's call it expression built-in Sizeof. We'll give back our favorite type, result. A result with an expression. Now, we're going to do this, everyone's favorite thing. We're going to skip a thing where we jump ahead over white space. We look for a token, which is going to be Sizeof. Sizeof this? No, we don't necessarily want to consume an opening brace because there might be a space. So we'll say S1, and we'll actually grab the type out of here because we'll say skip white space. We'll get the opening token, we'll get a type. I think it's called like parse type, because you can't just use, well, you can just use the identifier type, but I don't like to, and it's wrapped up in things. And of course, we need our favorite question mark operator. And then we're just okay. We're just happy with this. And it just hands the type back out, wrapped up in our new little expression. Now, you also need to give it something to consume. That's usually good advice. Okay, unexpected argument of type. Unexpected argument of type. Here. Sorry, did I put my thing in the wrong place? What? Huh? Wrapped. Wrapped? Oh yeah, no, that's because I forgot I forgot my all-important combinator. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, now that's just a parse error. Cool. That feels good. We don't have enough brackets in this bracket soup, maybe? Oh no. We had too many brackets in our bracket soup. That's also an important problem. Okay. Expression built-in Sizeof. So now let's find our expression, our big expression list. Now, before call, we need to say expression built-in Sizeof. It always has to go before function call, otherwise it just parses the function call and then it'll blow up. Is it really Rust if you don't see unwraps everywhere? There's no unwraps. I'm not unwrapping anything, okay? Our question mark operator is fine. Unwrap is cursed. Okay, no, that's only my tests. Yeah. No unwraps outside of tests. Oh, right, no, sorry, the function's called wrap. The function is called wrap. I'm with you, I'm with you. I'm a bit slow today. I've had a long day. I was working with children. It's oh boy. It's good fun, actually. It was good. Your Rust code is full of unwrap. I have unwraps in a few places. I have a lot of stuff where I do like checked, well, because my ISA has a bunch of slots for either 7-bit or 12-bit integers, and so I have checked conversions from like U8 and U16 into those, and I unwrap there. And that's fine until it isn't. One day that's gonna really violently break, and it's gonna ruin my day. But until then, I'm just like blissfully ignoring it. Okay, so we're gonna do Sizeof. We're gonna test Sizeof, and test Sizeof is gonna be pretty simple. I don't think we need to do loads of testing for this because it mostly just uses things that already exist. We're pretty confident that we can do Sizeof. We'll say Sizeof int. Yeah, but there is definitely the temptation in Rust to just put unwrap everywhere. We'll use a custom type as well for a test, because that's also worth testing. We want to make sure that we can parse everything. Beautiful. And of course that passes, because like it's just a really simple parser. So now what happens if I build my test? That looks okay. That looks really okay. Let's compile it into this format. And let's see what happens when we run it. Let me just get the web server up. I should remember to do this before I start, but here we are. Cool. Excellent. I need to get rid of these lines. They're a little bit unfortunate. Cool, and that has the correct return value we can see in the A register. It returns 2. We want it to return size of int. Ints are 2 bytes in my system. Let's give it a slightly less trivial example. I should really make this an actual test. Let's go lang tests. I'm just going to put this in. I'm going to put this in tests compiler for now, because I'm lazy, because I don't want to make a new file. Maybe I'll, yeah, test Sizeof. At some point we might want an entire file where we just test built-ins, but for now we only have one built-in, so like let's just put it here. It's okay, it's fine. And then we do this. That's it. We just check for a really simple value to this unwraps, right? You're allowed to unwrap in tests. That's okay. I give you permission to unwrap in tests. Every other unwrap may be a code smell. Test Sizeof struct. So in this one, we're gonna make a new type called foobar. It's gonna be a struct. That struct is gonna have some fields. Maybe one of those fields is another struct. So let's do that, but let's do it with an anonymous struct. Let's say struct struct int x car y foo int b. Anonymous structs are great. A int z. Okay, how big is this thing? Infinite Coder, welcome, welcome. How are you going? Also, thank you to, hold on, I need to zoom out. I can't read that full name. Niara Studios, welcome, welcome. Notification didn't work. Oh, unfortunate, unfortunate. Are you in my Discord? My Discord always gets a ping. But my Discord bot does not always cooperate in assigning people the correct role. Okay, so we're gonna get the size of foo bar, and this is gonna be bigger than 2. This is in fact gonna be 2, 3, 5, 7, maybe, hopefully. We'll find out real soon. That's okay. It just didn't. It just failed to parse. That's because I forgot commas after some of my things. That'll do it. That'll do it. Okay, beautiful. Now it works, and the size is what we expected, so that's good news. That's good news. Infinite Coder, you didn't miss too much today. I'm a little low energy today. I ran a little thing in schools earlier. It takes it out of you. You know, I just had a bit of a full-on day. Got another. I've got another. I'm doing more in-school teaching tomorrow afternoon, which is going to be really fun. It's happening. I didn't get paid for today, but I'm getting paid for tomorrow, so that's good news. Why wouldn't I put a link to my Discord on my website? That's a good question. That's probably because I didn't have a Discord when I put my website together, and I've just never occurred to me. I really should. Yeah, the Discord, I guess it's been around for a bit, but it's been very, very quiet, and it still is very quiet, but it's growing. You know, we're getting a little community, which is nice. It's cool. I think Sizeof is done. I don't think there's much more to do. We're going to do a cargo format before I commit anything, because I've got the hook. The hook is going to call me out if I don't do a cargo format before, and then so I'm going to jump the gun. Lang add Sizeof. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna do some misc cleanup, and we're gonna do it in main. You've missed a bit. You were on vacation. Where were you on vacation to? Anywhere fun, or just kind of like chilling out at home? Okay. So I have added a to-do just before, and I kind of already forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah. Function call. So we're adding a side quest. This was not in my original plan, but we're going on a side quest. When I call a function, I should check that I have the correct number of arguments when I'm compiling. That's just common courtesy. Someone went to the effort, probably me, of writing a function signature that had 3 arguments. It's only common courtesy to make sure that I actually have 3 arguments when I call that function. That seems like a good idea. So to do that, because currently we just give a reference by name. And this is cool, and this is a cool quirk of how the multipass compiler works. It resolves all these symbols at the end, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really matter. The important thing is that we need to resolve this identifier into the actual function definition. We do that via the context. The context has a list of function defs, and we can just look this up. So we can just say context.function defs.get, and we'll get it with a ref to the actual string part of the identifier. And then we're gonna say okay or, because if we don't... So now we're saying when we compile a function call, we expect to know that the function is declared. And that's okay. That's okay because we do know that all of our functions are declared before we compile any expressions. That's fine. It's going to be interesting when I try and add static initializers to globals. Then we're going to have some issues. But in general, like, you can't really call a function necessarily. Oh, it's messy. That is messy. Infinite Coder, you went just out of the city to a summer house and its surroundings, 2 castles. That's really cool. About an hour of car ride. That's very close. You're speaking to an Australian, an hour by car is very, very close. That is a very reasonable journey. That is nearby. Everything's far away here. You streamed yesterday, made your IR first class. Exciting. That sounds really cool. Nice. So your IR before was just like a byproduct, but now it's actually part of like the library, part of the code. So if we don't get a function definition, we want to give back an error, right? And the error we want to give back is a compiler error. It's going to be an error. Deref. Unknown symbol is probably okay. Unknown function. Undefined function. Let's say unknown function. That sounds okay. Let's do it. Unknown function. And the function name is id0. Beautiful. Cool, so we get either a function definition or we error. And then we want to say if def dot whatever this thing was, function definition, it's literally function definition dot args dot len. If it's not equal to args.len, then we give back this error that I defined before, that I accidentally forgot to remove from that last commit I made, and that's okay because that happens sometimes. Awesome. So this takes a name. In this case, that is id0 to string. It takes an expected, which is the number of arguments in the function definition, and it takes what we got, which is the number of args. Mismatched closing delimiter, that's because that needs to be that kind of bracket, and that needs to be that kind of bracket. Expected U32 found usize. Okay, well that's easy to fix because this should just obviously be usize. If it's a number of arguments, that's actually pretty simple. Cool. So let's just do a really simple unscientific test. We'll run the compiler on test.code. Now, we want to define a function like int foo. Okay, so we can compile that, and that works fine. And apparently I quit the editor then, but if we call foo with 1 and 2, that should work okay, perfect. And if we call foo with just 1, this would not have had a problem before, but now it should yell at me. And it does. It says we expected 2 arguments and we got 1. Perfect. Beautiful. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. Your IR, which is more like an abstract syntax tree, has a text representation. It was a list of symbols. Each one can be a function or an extern. Function. Okay, function is written. Interesting. So this sounds almost a little bit like Forthy in a sense, where everything is a function. How do values work? Only supporting usize number of arguments. Yeah, you know, I know programmers like to put lots of arguments in their functions. I know lots of people don't know this, but a function, you can measure how good a function is by how many arguments it has, right? Really good functions, they always have a lot of arguments. That's always what I was taught. You really want to try and maximize it. And, you know, if you're that kind of maximalist and you want to really break way beyond usize, you're going to have to submit a PR. I can't handle that much code quality in my language. It's just out of scope, you know. You have to draw the line somewhere. Cool. So we just added function argument. Is this arity? Is that what that's called? Arity is the number of arguments or operands. Yeah, I'm gonna write a fancy commit message. I'm gonna use the word arity. Function arity check. And obviously I'm going to cargo format before I do that. I would never forget that. No, except I forgot to add up between the format and the commit. So now we do my favorite command, commit amend. That's good. Cool, perfect. Your program is one function, only one function. You'll never change. Just write it all in main. You know, it's like, yeah, why would you ever do anything else? Comptime x equals function. X becomes a compile time variable, which has a type unit, gets evaluated at some point. So is the number, is this one of these things, right? Because you can do this with these languages where you have this, like, you know, so if your fundamental type is, hold on, what am I doing? Where am I going? If you have, like, you know, x equals fn, you can, like, are you going to do the weird counting number thing where it's like x, like y, where, you know, like 0 is like this unit value and then 1 is like x of x, right? And then 2 is x of x of x. Is this the kind of thing you're going for, or am I missing something about how this works? You can't have a regular function string. Yeah, this is some nerd shit. I love it. This is my kind of stuff. Cool. Okay, so I have other things that I want to do tonight. Maybe this is a good time. I'm going into functional languages. Most functional languages have numbers. Defining arithmetic in terms of, like, recursion is a little bit beyond the scope of most functional languages. But yeah. Fugitive. I haven't used it, actually. No, I've never really had a problem with command line git. I've never hit a point where I felt like I've outgrown it. I tried using different GUI tools at various points. I used to use like SourceTree when I was working, I think, in the bank for a while, and it just caused more problems than it solved. Like just taking the time and learning how Git CLI worked, I never had a Git problem again. You know, I rebase. Rebase is good. Fugitive's a Vim plugin. Yeah. So it will it like, is it for actually committing and merging and like rebase workflows, or does it just show you what's changed? Because again, I don't mind pressing Control Z and then doing a git diff. I don't know. People fucking hate the way I work on this stuff, but yeah. Okay, I'm gonna make a folder. I'm gonna do something I haven't done for quite a while on this stream, and I'm gonna make a folder, compile. I'm gonna make a CodeGen folder because this is getting unwieldy. This 1,200 line file, we're gonna move it into files. So source, compile, CodeGen, mod.rs. Not gonna put anything in here for now because I don't know what's actually going in there, but we're gonna make a we're gonna go to lang source compile CodeGen. We're gonna have, I guess, an expression.rs. That feels good. So we'll grab compile expression, chuck that in there. I probably actually want to select like this. We'll grab it out, paste it in, make it a pub function because that would be good. Toggle term. I don't know, even toggle term, like, you could, like, NeoVim terminal integration is pretty good, but Control Z is also just really good. 1,000 lines in a file. Yeah, that is the entire CodeGen for my whole programming language. Like, it does quite a few things, but it is time to split it up. It's basically like a sixth of the entire project, or a fifth of the entire project at this point, just that one file. Which, hold on, I've just duplicated quite a few lines, but Rust 7. So yeah, it's like a sixth of the overall project. That's kind of good. Same clone. Hello. Say game clone. S4 game clone. Welcome. People continue to baffle me with their names. It's very challenging. Let's make a lang source compile CodeGen. I guess I'll make a block. Let's call it block.rs because we have compile block. We'll grab this. Maybe I should call it body. I feel like block and body should live together in harmony because they do similar things. So this one file, this is still a long file, but it's not as long. A compile block is actually completely manageable. It's not too bad. Now I get to do my favorite thing. Maybe I add a util crate, right? Because a couple of these things, there's some utilities that I think get shared between a few things. Compile, this is quite meaty actually. So maybe we're gonna have CodeGen, I guess, top level, and this is like our top level compiler, the thing that compiles everything. And then everything that's left are just helper functions. So I think I'm gonna add a util crate. What does the Rust style guide say about having a crate, not a crate, a file in your mod called utils that you don't export? Is that legal? Am I going to get kicked out of Rust Club for doing that? Lang source compile CodeGen util. Is it util or utils? Plural or not? Controversial question. So this has to be pub, right? But I don't want to export it beyond. I don't want to export it beyond the actual mod, the actual like folder module. Okay, right value. So all these things, they just need to be pub. Sorry, I'm doing them one at a time in a kind of stupid way, but it's just because I want to make sure I understand what's here. God, I forgot this function was so ridiculous. This this is a lot. Okay, perfect. All functions are public. Like in this, well, they're what I probably want, like they won't be exposed. They won't be exposed up the tree. But what I probably technically want is to say this, where they can only be exported up a level. I think they're only like, I think that's what that means. I'm not sure. I'm not totally sure, to be honest. I haven't done enough of this mod stuff. So we need to say mod expression, mod top level. What else do we have? We have mod block. Okay, cool. No, this is all good. Am I using Rust to create a compiler for it? I'm making a compiler for my own programming language in Rust. Very different languages. My language is not as sophisticated as Rust. Pub super is only exposed in the parent model and all its children. Cool. But if I don't, like in this mod, if I don't say pub mod, it also won't be exposed up the chain, right? Like the CodeGen module, oh, sorry, anything importing this module that I'm in right now, if I don't say that like block is a pub module, it can't reference any of the functions in block. So in this case, like as far as I understand it, you would only need pub super if you're wildcard exporting, and then you would exclude things like that. I'm not going to wildcard export anything, so I don't think it matters. It's probably still good practice in case. But you'll get to the killing list of the Rust Club guard. Okay. So Rust Club likes pub super rather than just pub. That's good to know. I wonder, I'm going to leave it and I'm going to run Clippy. And if Clippy says it's a problem, I'll fix it. And if Clippy doesn't say it's a problem, I'm not going to fix it. I will let the Clippy gods decide. Okay, CodeGen. Block, top level. We need mod util. Everyone needs mod util. And then we're going to pub use top level. I think all we need is top level compile, actually. I think that's the only thing we need to export here. Rust Club Lights explicit. Do Clippy pedantic. I think I'd rather not do Clippy pedantic. I haven't done it before. I'm scared of Clippy pedantic. I don't know what's going to come up. I honestly, until you said that, did not even consider Clippy pedantic was an option. And now I am literally quaking in my boots. Docs will break if I re-export this. So what's the best way to re-export? How do I do that? What am I supposed to do? Do I have to like pub mod, or like what's the play? I thought I've done this before. I don't know. It's probably not good practice. Is there a better way to do this, or do people just say like don't re-export? Is that just bad? Cargo doc open. Well, it's not gonna work, I imagine, for a variety of reasons right now. Best way is to have that. Yeah. So I need to fix this first. I need to fix this first. The best way is to have the module to be public. Yeah, that's fair. Maybe I should do that. Okay, this is going to be a bit annoying to clean up. So we'll start in block. We will use... do I have to do the full path here? Do I have to use crate CodeGen? I can never remember these relative paths. Let's do this for now and see how it works. Block expression. Oh yeah, cool. Thanks for the DM, Fuster. I'll have a look. I can't promise I will put it into my workflow because I tend to like not having bloat in my NeoVim config. I think a lot of NeoVim configs are very bloated with plugins, so I try and keep mine very, very small. But I will check it out. I definitely will check it out. Okay, module. Oh yeah, right. Well, so we need to clean this up. This is a bit scary. Code gen. Is there anything in here? Well, for one thing, all these users will have to go somewhere. These will have to be distributed. So right now I'm gonna do the silly thing, and I'm gonna put all of these imports everywhere, and then see what it yells at me for. So we'll go into expression, and it will tell me when stuff is unused. And we'll go into top level. This is really dumb. This is really dumb. But it'll be good, I promise. So then, what am I doing? So I'm moving. Well, I'm splitting up one file into a module because the file was over 1,000 lines. Compile code gen. You should see what it'll yell at you for not having. Well, this is basically the same, right? This way just has less typing. Okay. Create. Oh yeah. Oops. There's this. There's. It is the same. It'll warn me about everything that's unused. It is less keystrokes. It is less keystrokes. Compile. All right, compile body not found in the scope. So this is because these things cross-reference each other. So top level relies on compile body relies on compile block relies on expression. It's not the same. It fits nicely into Vim workflow. Nice to be able to use Git within Vim context buffers. Yeah. I am interested in improving my Git workflow, especially if I go back to full-time work for a bit. It would be important to have a better Git workflow, I think, for collaboration. For just my projects where I don't really care that much about my Git history, it's okay. But yeah, I would actually need to look at better tools and LSP and stuff if I'm going back into work. If I import twice, it might not yell at me for it not being used. That won't be a problem here because there aren't any duplicate imports. I statically assert this. I promise. Okay, so compile top level needs code gen block. And likewise block, not this block, the other block. Block needs compile expression. Compile body, sorry. Use super. I'm not sure I understand what you mean by that. Register not found in the scope. Oh yeah, that's because. Okay, well I'll do this one sensibly. Use simple VM register. No, but I've got to do this on. Hold on. I'm literally gonna do it like this. I'm doing it. Here I go. This is okay. So instruction we need, instruction parser we don't need, literal 12-bit we need, literal 7-bit we don't need, nibble we don't need, nibble we do need, register we need, stack op we need, test op we do not need. Use super, everything from parent module. Yeah. I don't know. I've always felt like it was better to be really explicit with imports. And this is funny because I feel like we've ended up on opposite sides of this coin, right? Like before I was like, oh whatever, I won't pub super it. It's okay. I don't need to be that explicit. And now you're saying about wild can imports. I'm like, I would rather be explicit about what I'm pulling in. So that's kind of funny. And also, that's when you end up with the double import not warning you, right? Whereas when you don't do that, you don't have that problem. I think I was doing some Bevy work, and Bevy just has so many imports. Imports, be explicit, qualify everything. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like the same thing. What is happening here? Test op, not in the scope. Excellent. I love this. I mean, I still need import. I'm still importing things from outside of the everything in the parent module. So in this case, the parent module would be like the next layer up. I don't know. That feels kind of, yeah. That feels kind of dirty. Feels kind of dirty. It's a joke. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure. Like, I don't know Rust best practices. I am putty in your hand. You know, I'm happy to take advice. Okay, compile body. So, okay. This is the worst of both worlds because now I'm going to be inconsistent. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, obviously these are unused. Instruction parse error, good. Block, loop labels. This is what I wanted. This is what I really wanted here. Wow, compile util, allegedly unused. Let's comment that for a sec. Let's see where we end up. I guess that makes sense, especially for the top level one. Ref cell. Block scope, block variable, loop labels. This is the point I wanted to get to, where the quick fix list can just do its magic. Unused import. Literal 12-bit. Function definition. Block, scope, block, loop label. So only block variables survives this cut. Nothing from here. Symbol and type of. And obviously we're not using anything from util because we're in util. Nice, function definition. Just need to write my file. Awesome. Okay, so we built without warnings. That's good. Can I make tea? Does it still work? Yeah, beautiful. Okay, that's nice. So is there a doc problem? Okay. We have some doc issues. So the problem will be lang compile. This appears to work. This looks okay. It re-exports it. Because it re-exports it twice, does it? What does compile mod do? Yeah, compile mod so this compile function gets re-exported twice, and it's fine. This doc looks okay. So that's cool. So I think we're fine. Nice. That feels really good. Okay, so what does Clippy say? Hold on. How do I pedantic Clippy? Is it just like dash pedantic or something? Borrowing stuff, unneeded return, love it. I don't think any of this stuff relates to what I'm doing right now. So I'm gonna Oh, add this to the beginning of the crate. I won't do that right now. I'm gonna just do a quick Clippy pass. I need to get in the habit of doing this before I commit stuff. But anyway, get rid of a ref, get rid of a return, and a semicolon. You got to remember the semicolon as well. I'll do this first. I'll clean up all the easy ones first. Push. Okay, so what I should probably have here instead of this is like vec, right? Something like this. Right? Something. And then I can actually just get rid of the variable altogether and say okay. Oh golly, that's a long command line. Okay, I'll add that in a sec. I'll resolve what we have. Infinite Coder, have you seen my cool emote that I added to my channel? It's very important. Very important emote. We're gonna go raid someone in a bit. And it's very important you have a good grasp of my emote. Wow, apparently I'm doing a lot of unnecessary borrows. A lot of unnecessary borrows. That's the one, Fuster. That's it. Casting is unnecessary as it's already a U8. Beautiful. Oops. I think that's a pretty good emote. I'm very proud of that. I made that myself. You know, I'm not a very talented artist. But okay, hold on. How does this look like a matches macro? Whoa, I didn't know I could do that. Whoa. Self int or self car or self unchecked int. That is very, very cool. That is life-changingly good. Not a sub. I didn't realize. I thought follower remotes you could travel with even if you weren't a sub. My mistake. I'm sorry. No pressure to subscribe ever. Money's tricky. Was that it? That was it. Okay, that was actually not that much. Okay, so I'm gonna go into lang. Lang source lib. So this will be like recursive, right? Yeah. I know matches is just a macro. I just didn't realize it would work like that. I don't know. I could have. I could have worked that out myself, but yeah, I needed it spoon-fed to me by Clippy. I'd just never seen it before. I don't actually think maybe once I've written a match expression that has the bar, the or. So this will apply to the whole recursive thing, yeah? I think that's what you said. So if I make Clippy, oh boy, there's a couple of things. Mod RS files are not allowed. Mod RS files are not allowed? What? Ah, huh. Do the command. Do the command. Okay, wow, so I guess mod files are they're done. I missed the memo. Single character lifetimes are fine. Yeah, it suggests I read about it. I can imagine. I think I read a little bit about it actually. I think I vaguely picked up some of that when I started learning about how these mods work. More informative name. No, thank you. Yeah, Clippy annoying edition. This is accurate. Mixed use of pub and non-pub fields. Interesting. pub in super. Yeah, okay, so it does tell me that. This is something for me to go over when I have a little bit more brain energy, but not tonight. But thank you very much for sharing. Thank you very much for sharing. I think it's time to throw someone on to do a raid because it's after midnight. I'm chatting with a recruiter tomorrow morning. I'm heading off to a school to do some stuff. I'm busy. I'm a busy boy. I'm going out for dinner. Let's find a good channel to raid. If anyone has any good recommendations, I would always appreciate them as usual. Someone not too big, because otherwise it's awkward throwing like a couple of viewers at them. So if you have any channels you see that look good, there's someone building a CRPG, that's kind of cool. Overwatch AI, that sounds kind of interesting, but they're French. Nothing against the French, it's a fine language, you know, I just don't understand them. Kuviman, I like Kuviman, they're doing cool stuff. Happy to throw it onto a similar compiler dev. Alright, let's do it. Let's throw some viewers this way. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It has been another fun stream. We've made some progress. It's been good. We're going to keep the compiler train going over at Kumiman. I will see you guys next time. It's been fantastic. Bye.